welcome to Mums and Tea, the YouTube channel, a platform for queens who happen to be mums. In today's video, I'll be exploring the options of having a nanny as a form of childcare when you're going back to work. If you're new to my page, welcome. Don't forget to like, comment and hit that subscribe and bell button so you don't miss out on any future new videos and notifications. This is a mini series in which I explore all the different childcare options that you have when you're going back to work. So please, if you haven't already seen the other videos on nursery, childminders, make sure you check those out as well. Now, let's talk nannies. Before looking into childcare options when going back to work, I didn't quite know the difference between what a nanny was and a childminder was. I actually thought that they were one and the same thing and that the words were actually used interchangeably. But after doing more research, I found out that they are not the same thing at all. My previous video does describe exactly what a childminder is, and for the purposes of today's video, a nanny is someone who comes into your house to provide one-on-one care for your child or children, as opposed to a childminder where you have to take the child over to the childminder's house, and there may be loads of children. So nannies, in that respect, are more of a personalized sort of way of, providing childcare for your child. So it's important to note that with nannies, they don't actually have to be Ofsted registered. In fact, there are no legal requirements for them to have qualifications or be registered at all. It's very important to note that. It's a very important factor, I think, actually. It's actually voluntary if they sign up with Ofsted. So just bear that in mind. They're not as regulated as nurseries and childminders. When you are looking for a nanny, things like experience, references, previous jobs that they've done is very, very important. Word of mouth recommendations, they're all very, very important because of the fact that they are not actually registered, or they don't have to be registered through Ofsted. So nannies typically help around the house. As I said, they come to you, and some of them are live-in nannies. They can be live-in nannies, or they can just be nannies that come on a daily basis, come early in the morning, leave late at night, come just before you go to work and leave as you come back, which is fantastic. They're very flexible in their hours. They can help you with not only childcare, but help you around the house. Bless you, Ezekiel, he's in the background. They can help you around the house, which is also very, very helpful if both partners work. Having a child running around, it can be very stressful. Sometimes your house may be a state, so it's nice to have somebody there that can actually do that. That's obviously something you have to agree with them beforehand. A nanny will help care for your children or your babies and teach them the basic skills. So you can set a routine that they will follow, which is fantastic. It's very flexible, which I like. Also, the fact that the child is in their own home setting, I think is a very, very big bonus, because it's that sort of sense of security that they're not anywhere else but where they know to be, which is in their homes. Nannies can also help you, if you have older kids, drop off and pick up the kids from school. So I think maybe another thing to look for when you are looking for a nanny is that they can drive and they have a driving license and a car, preferably. That's another important thing to note. If you're looking for a nanny, they can do drop-offs if you've got other children, which is helpful as well. So you may be wondering, how do I even look for a nanny? Well, there are loads of websites, again, online, that you can literally type in find a nanny, and you will see the list of different profiles of people. You basically are advertising for a job, because you need someone to come. It's a job. Being a nanny is a job. They will come into your house. So you need, you can potentially find agencies that are looking, where nannies will put their profiles and you will look. You can equally put your profile as a host family, and nannies can apply for that as well. There are loads of these platforms online, which is really, really good and helpful. Again, as I mentioned before, word of mouth. If you know anybody else that has potentially had a nanny before, ask them if they have any friends. Don't discredit the power of word of mouth recommendations in this instance as well, because they can also be very, very helpful. When looking for your nanny, you're going to want to make sure that they have not only got qualifications that they can prove, but also that they have experience. Like I said, they don't have to be registered with Ofsted. It's not compulsory for them. So you want to make sure, you know, when you are interviewing, when you are seeing them and their capabilities, you ask for their experience and their qualifications. That is very, very important for your own peace of mind, as well as to show that the person is credible and they can do what they say they can do. As a minimum, they must be able to provide you with a DBS certificate as well, because this is someone that's going to come into your home, look after your children. So they do need to at least have a criminal record check that is up to date as well. So make sure you look for that when you are interviewing your nanny. When you are interviewing the nanny, make sure that, you know, you get a feel for how they are around the children. Are they happy? Are they nice? Of course, it's an interview, so of course everyone's going to be on their best behavior, but you will get that gut feeling. You will know that if this is the right thing, the right fit for you and your family. Check out their personalities, check if they gel well with yourself, with the kids as well. If they are, you know, gonna stick to the routine that you possibly want to give them, or if they've got an idea of how they want to do things. Are they kind of not a pushover, but do they give in to the children's wants and needs, or do they do things their own way? These are all things to kind of think about when you're having the interview. Things, you know, things that are going on in the subconscious that you've got to look for as well, because this person will be in your home. Don't forget that. Be sure to get all the references and check for any gaps in the CV as well. I cannot stress enough, they do not have to be registered with Ofsted, so this could literally be anyone. Hopefully it's not just anyone, it's who they say they are, but you know, as with any job, they will have to provide you with references, and you do have to make sure there are no gaps in their CV that are unexplained or longer than, say, 2-3 months at a time. Some benefits of using a nanny are that a child is in their own home, which again, like I mentioned, is so nice. It's giving them security, familiarity. They are somewhere where they're already recognised, so they're less likely to act up, say, in comparison to when they're in a nursery or in a childminder's house where it's a completely new setting. It's one-to-one care, which I think is fantastic. If you find the right nanny, it could really work for you. Think of it like it's almost as if you're staying at home as a mother. You get that one-to-one care with the child or children, and they don't have to focus on any other child, which I think is really important for their development. And obviously when you're interacting with the children as well, you're not being pulled in so many places. So I think that's nice. That's a nice touch of having a personal nanny at home. Nannies will also, they are employed by you, so they will tend to follow the routines that you give, which is nice because it won't then upset the child. When you're going back to work, you can give the same routine. This is my baby takes a nap at 10, eats at 12, and you know, it can be very settling for the child. Although it's a new person doing the routine, it's still the routine that they're set to, and we know that children thrive off of routines, which is a good thing. Most nannies tend to do the household duties, like I mentioned before, which is good. When you come home, they'll probably at least clean the house, so you don't have to do that, which is helpful. Of course, when you're a working mum, there's so much going on, so it's nice to at least come back to a semi-clean house and a child that's been bathed and ready for bed. As with anything in life, there are disadvantages to having a nanny too, so it's good to weigh up both sides. One disadvantage is that they tend to be very expensive. As I mentioned before, they're providing that one-on-one care and they're coming into your home, so they tend to be a little bit more expensive than traditional nurseries and childminding services as well. You have to remember that there will be someone in your home, so it's probably best that you are very, you know, you put stuff that is valuable away. This is your privacy that we're talking about. Someone will be coming into your home, they'll have access to things, so you know, you're gonna have to just be a little bit mindful that you have to be a bit more private with your thing. Another disadvantage of having a nanny is that there might be slightly less social interaction than if they were at a childminder with more than one child, and even at a nursery. So I think one way to combat this is, if you on their routine, you can ask them to sort of take the child to the local play groups and do activities with them outside of the home, which is good. You know, take them out, take them to the park and whatever. But actually, there is a risk of you know, social isolation isolation, if you like, less social interaction with other children when it comes to having a nanny. But hey, if the nanny is fantastic, that shouldn't even matter. It's also really, really important to note that what's becoming ever increasingly popular is actually a nanny share. So as I mentioned, nannies can be quite expensive. However, if you have a friend that's relatively going back to work around the same time as you, why don't you put your heads together, put your funds together and do a nanny share, which is where you literally, it does what it says on the tin. You will share one nanny. So I think that is a very good idea, because the nanny's getting slightly a bit more money for looking after two children. It's not going to be as expensive because you'll be splitting the costs. Your child will potentially, will be with another child, which beats the whole lack of social interaction. They can be raised as brothers and sisters, which is fantastic. I actually really like the idea of a nanny share. They're becoming more and more popular, so that's something to look into as well if you're looking at a nanny and potentially can't afford it but want the one-to-one care. And there you have it. There is a short, quick guide, a helpful guide on how to find a nanny. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, give us a thumbs up, like, and make sure you subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.